Jalen Carter is an incredible blend of explosiveness, quick twitch, and relentless power. He can affect all three downs, and that's what makes him a blue chip talent in the 2023 NFL Draft. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shabink here, and we are looking at Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter today. Carter's been on an incredibly talented Georgia defensive line for 2 seasons now, a defensive line that featured first-round picks last year in Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, and Devontae Wyatt. And while all of those three are probably better athletes in the testing department than Jalen Carter, Carter is the best of the bunch in terms of playing football. And you might look at the stats from Jalen Carter the last 2 years. You see 34 pressures, 32 pressures the last 2 years, 4 sacks, 3 sacks. It's not that great. But when you look at what Carter has done in terms of snaps played, he's been under 400 snaps the last 2 seasons. When you look at other blue chip talents at defensive tackle recently, the Quinnen Williams, the Jeffrey Simmons, right, the Christian Barmores of the world, they all had 600 plus snaps each season. And that's where you see them get into those 50 plus pressure territory, right? And potentially double-digit sacks. And when you extrapolate Jalen Carter's numbers to the snaps that Quinnen Williams and Simmons and all these guys have gotten, you get similar numbers. And that's why we see, why he is valued so highly and why for most of people, he's becoming the top prospect in this draft class. So we're going to get into the film room and kind of just look at what makes him as a blue chip talent and why he could be the first pick, and for sure we'll go top 4. And then we'll get at the end with a few of my favorite clips, break them down a little bit deeper, but let's head to it. Jalen Carter packs an explosive first step and quick twitch to get in the backfield with ease. You see him change direction extremely well when he's diagnosing the play, and if he can get to the quarterback and retread his rush, the ability to change direction, stop on a dime is impressive. Guy's got extreme power that creates disruption. He can toss offensive linemen with ease, as he does here to DeJuan Jones. It makes him look like an undrafted free agent. He has the power to affect the run game as well. He can create and reset the line of scrimmage with ease. He's got a wicked club move to get into the backfield. And you see against Tennessee, when that bull rush is going, he can create potential turnovers as well. What he really gets to as a pass rusher, you see him get to that club move and get the arm over. It's extremely effective. It keeps guards from getting into his chest. And you see it very much on occasion where guards are just caught grasping for air and he's getting past them with ease. He can get to the cross chop as well, and he's got good flexibility to kind of create and bend an edge if he needs to. You see him convert speed to power very well. And he can get to counters as well. If he gets to a spin move, if you catch him out of position, he can get there. If the initial club move doesn't work, he can get back, reset his hands, and rip through guards. Spin move, arm over, whatever it takes. The counters are there for him as a pass rusher to create pressure from really any alignment if he needs to. Club, if he has to take on multiple offensive linemen, that is something he can do. He can split double teams with impressive power to create havoc in the backfield. And when you see him, guards kind of get out over their skis, they get in trouble against a guy like Carter who, can push-pull. That club move becomes even more devastating. And you see him stay relentless as a pass rusher that leads to impressive sacks. No matter what, he's not giving up on the play, and he'll do anything to get that quarterback out of the pocket if that's what the play design calls for. Against the run, you see him with quick hands, violent hands to get good leverage against the run. He's got good vision. He stays patient, knowing when he needs to attack. When double teams and zone come his way, he stays patient. He can anchor really well. You see good ankle flexion in his game. And once he's in a one-on-one, especially when guys are passing it off in zone, they do not have a chance against him because of how good he plays with his hand usage and placement. He gets his hands in tight, and he can push-pull. He can stack, quickly shed blockers when he needs to, and wrap up with extreme ferocity. He can even handle the occasional double team at the point of attack, allowing other defensive linemen free access to the rusher. When you look at the Kentucky game from this year, you see him rush from a 4-eye alignment and play the run from a 4-eye alignment really, really well in this game. He's able to sit and leverage with great power, great hand placement, and stack and shed and get off blocks and wrap up when necessary. You see him in a 2-eye alignment here, and he's able to get the guard on the ground. That versatility that he showed in the Kentucky game is really impressive. And he even won a pass rush rep from the 5 tech, looking like a pretty good edge rusher there. Mississippi State as well. You see him in the 4-eye alignment, get a little bull rush. He's able to rip through it and create some pressure. And last but not least, Jalen Carter, no matter it's a run or pass, he's going to finish with authority. All right, guys, here, just to finish up the Jalen Carter video, a few of my favorite clips that I want to kind of break down more detail rather than through the narration. But against Kentucky, this is back in 2021. So what you see is, again, the club move, get that arm over, and he's going to be able to take advantage of a guard that's now with that club lunging, and he's on the ground immediately. So now the center here has to now adjust mid-play, and he's not really completely ready for what Carter has to offer, so it's easy to get into his chest, shove him off, and then absolutely drill Will Levis, fumble Georgia football. This is one of, I think, his better rush reps, and I wanted to save it for this just because you see him right here, again, half man. You're taking on the half man here as a rusher. Look at him dip underneath and rip through this. And look at how he can stay balanced with a guy basically leaning on him throughout the play, and he's able to create pressure. Again, the ball was completed, but like this is one of the, I think, the better things you see because he chops the arm down a little bit enough just to get leverage in order to create some pressure early on. I like this one a lot too. I think this shows you just, again, the ability of Carter to understand the assignment here. We're rushing with 4. And once I think he sees, again, linebacker in the gaps here, what he doesn't want to happen is for Duggan to have an escape hatch. So basically, linebacker gets through, he spins outside to kind of anticipate a potential scramble, I think, by Duggan here. Duggan throws this ball anyway. It is picked, but like this is just good, like a really good play that you're not going to like think about because, oh, like, he spun out of a potential sack, but no, this is playing contain 100% because his buddy on the other side is doing the same thing, right? So that I think that is a really impressive rep overall. Same game against TCU. Again, initial rush is stymied here. He tries for the club again, and Steve Avila, who's a pretty good player in his own right, kind of stops this in his tracks. So what Carter does is says, all right, so you see where we're at here, about the 17-ish yard line. Carter just says, all right, I'm going to bull rush you. I'm going to take you all the way back to about the 12.5 in Duggan's face, and he has to take the check down for an easy play. Like that, I think, is underrated. You see him get to the bull rush as a counter, and he drives him back to kind of reset the line of scrimmage and create some interior pressure. Last one here, because it's one of my favorites, I think, against the run. He makes this look so easy. So a little bit of a read step here by, oh, dang it, I messed it up. But a little bit of a read step here. Gets the guard going in the direction he believes he's going, right? We're getting into zone here. You can see this guy's got eyes on the second level linebacker, but Carter does a great job. And now the guy's over his skis. Again, club to arm over. We're sitting in the gap now, and we're making this play no matter what. Like it's a very easy play for Carter because, again, knows, all right, I'm read stepping. I see guard really pressing to my outside shoulder. Club, arm over, on the ground. Good freaking night. So, like, Jalen Carter, like, when you see all this on film, you got to think blue chip player, like, for sure. Like, just the ability to affect all 3 downs. Like, he's never going to be a guy who's going to get completely washed out in the run game. A lot of 3 technique pass rushers kind of get that a little bit. No, he's able to hold his ground, right? He has an array of pass rush moves to get to the quarterback. Like, this is the type of player that should be going top 5 in the NFL draft, right? So if it's the Bears, if it's the Cardinals, right? If it's Houston, who knows, at 2, if Seattle somehow gets him at 5, like, they're getting a premium player who's going to affect the game from day one. He's just that good. So hope you guys enjoyed this video on Jalen Carter. If you did, drop a like down there. Sub if you're new. More draft content coming very soon here. Got a lot of prospects on the way, so make sure you're subscribed so you get the info for all those guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Farewell.